United States federal prison system, land of the free. Speech, that is. And considering what I'm seeing out here after my time in prison, I got to tell you, GT, wouldn't you agree that freedom of speech is alive and well in prison compared to what we're seeing right now?
Well, yeah, I thought it was more restrictive in prison because you kinda had to watch what you say. You might be fighting, you might have an ass whipping coming. But as far as free speech goes, you can say whatever the hell you want in there, and if you wanna insult people, demean them, well, that's the coin of the realm in prison, and out here, it's just like, I don't know where it's going, with the free speech right now, I really don't.
No, well, the difference in prison is, like you said, you can say anything you want to. You just got to be prepared to defend yourself if it pops up. But they don't ban you for life. Like if you're in a chow hall and you say something to Sereno that you don't like, you know, get ready to throw down with him probably. But that's it. When it's over, it's over. It doesn't haunt you the rest of your life. They don't seclude you to some other area because of that. Out here, my God, you say the wrong thing and they're going to audit your grandma's Facebook account or something. And it's not in prison also is this. You may have a shot collar for one group, but if you say something that within his group might be offensive to the shot collar, he doesn't ban all the groups out there from talking bad about him. You can't do that,
No.
because you have this thing. Just be prepared to defend yourself and move on with life. That's what it is.
But nobody it's not moving on. I don't know where we're heading at right now with, like, with the Jimmy Kimmel thing, with, basically our president saying, "If you talk bad about me, I'm gonna pull your I'm looking into pulling your FCC licenses." This is a terrible thing. I don't know how luckily, even Ted Cruz is standing up, going against the president finally, even after Trump called his wife a dog and his dad a Nazi. And so
That's
finally
freedom
he
of
gets
speech.
yeah, that's freedom of speech, exactly. And Ted Cruz took it on the chin. Donald Trump hasn't said anything about Ted Cruz, but I don't know. I think this is going to keep getting worse and worse here for a
Well,
minute.
it is getting worse, and you as you know, maybe everybody doesn't know, but I'm an old Republican, I was. I'm a political agnostic now. I think it exists, but I'm not sure. And so you look back in time, and freedom of speech is a big thing. It's the number one thing in freedom, basically. But the problem you got now is the Republican Party is the biggest bunch of pussies I have ever seen in my life. I cannot believe these guys. I mean, these are the same guys that were crying. They said that Biden and that limp attorney general he had was after him. Garland, whatever his name, he wasn't after anybody. He was afraid of his own reflection in the mirror. I mean, he didn't, and they were talking about maybe we got to calm Facebook down a little bit. Oh, you can't do that, and now they're out there crying and pissing and moaning, and it's Trump, and he's got people around him defending him, because he doesn't like something. He sets up that old sour puss look he's got, like he's supposed to be a tough guy.
Oh, he gets all but hurt. Yeah, he like I say, he wouldn't do too well behind the fence. Yeah,
No, no.
there's guys like and just so you guys know, there's people like that, in there, and they whine and they complain, and usually they're doing a lot less time than me or Jack was, and they bitch about everything, and they're free to do it, but your reputation is like, oh man, all he does is whine about his bid. Oh, I got a year. And you're sitting there doing a 15 piece and you're going, yeah, well, big fucking deal. You got a year. And you're right though. This whole thing where he cries over anybody insulting him now.
Yeah,
And I
the warden. I always look at some of the wardens. Some of the old wardens are tough boys. They've been around. And they can put up with shit. You can say something about the warden, and they people do all the time, whether you respect him, like him or not. People are always saying shit, and the warden don't come down and lock everybody down and cover it. But like you said, the whiners, the Donald Trumps of the prison system. And I remember this case very clearly. It happened in Florence. It was over a medical issue we're having. The warden called everybody to the gymnasium because all these complaints were coming in about medical. And we're up there asking questions about it. And this one guy in the front basically jumped up and down, waving his hand like a little kid. And he said something to his warden. He goes, "What is it?" And there's Warden Oliver, who was a great warden. Very fair. He says, "What is it?" And the guy says, "Well, I'm concerned with my time here." And the guy gives us a long whiny thing. He stopped. He goes, wait a minute, stop, stop." He says, "How long is your bid?" And the guy goes, "Oh, I've got 10 months." He goes, "Get your ass to the back of the room. I got guys in here have done 15, 20 years. Just get back there." And the guy
Uh, I remember that. Yeah, and it's so common. The
yeah,
people that complain the most are doing the less time, and it's like Trump complaining. He's doing the best. He's
yeah,
making the rules up. He's stealing money like there's no tomorrow. He's making
yeah,
billions. His family cashing in billions. Things are going good for him, and he should just be going. Yeah, they can call me whatever they want.
yeah. Why not?
I'm flying around on the big jet and I'm fattening up my bank account. But no, and he draws more attention to himself and this shit's going to be coming to a head here. It's got to. I mean, this isn't the way we want to live and people are finally starting to say, "Oh, this ain't helping none."
No. And I see some of the right wing uh, podcasters, we even call, they're even saying something because one guy points out, he says, "My concern is when the Democrats get back in, when the Democrats get back in," he says, "and they will, they're going to use this on us. They're going to go after us. They're going to come after us hard."
Well,
Really?
I hope not. I don't want them to do the same thing. I hope they break that cycle and come back in and say, "No, we're not going to go after you. Let's just try to go forward." That's the only solution. We can't have this. Okay, now it's our turn to fuck you, and then it. Can you imagine prison if that's all it was a revenge cycle?
Oh,
I mean, it would be dangerous. If it didn't get worked out, and I don't understand still how we worked that out in prison with heavy racial confrontations and great gang related shit, and yet it wasn't this bad. It
no,
wasn't this tit for tat. I mean, like you say, if there was a beef, it usually got settled. If it was a Serrano on a white guy and the Serrano said, "Hey, you got to tune up your own race," well, then it happened. And if not, then they're going to take care of it themselves. But this it didn't go back and forth. It got handled. Maybe it had one or two tit for tats, but then it ended or prison didn't go on right.
no, that's just it. And you're right. The political heads in prison would have a sit down sometimes. When I was a lieutenant, I saw two major ones that we averted riots with because of one particular group, and they had a sit down and came to a decision, and everyone agreed this is the best way for all of it to go. It didn't go too well for that one group because they were the troublemakers. That was a very small group, but it had to get done, and everyone agreed. This is it. And you can do that there. You can't do it out here. And you're talking about guys who've been sent to prison because they can't live in society. This society that we're talking about right now with all this bullshit. And I've never seen more bullshit in my 67 years. I'm seeing right now. Those guys in prison can get things done quicker, smoother, no flaws afterwards, and move ahead and eat in the same chow hall, play softball in the same field, and do all that without any more ramifications for anybody. But society out here can't accept that shit. Nope, we got to do it this way because this is how society is.
Yeah,
Man,
and it's funny, and you're talking about we play softball and shit together. A lot of times, like at Victorville, the softball teams were broken up into races.
oh
There
yeah,
was a black team, there was a white team, and I played on the white team. It was called the White Sox. Then there was a mixed team, there was a Pisa team, and yeah, everything went smooth. And they were actually divided by race and played together. And so there were bigger issues, and our little government can't get out of its sandbox. Little Democrats getting their feelings, Republicans getting their feelings. It's pitiful, actually.
no. The only time I ever saw, actually, I saw a couple fights. People think this may be kind of dumb, but I saw a couple uh, fights between two or three, four guys over their favorite football team. One time, some of the Mexicans got into it over the World Cup thing. That was pretty
Yeah,
funny. But you can't
yeah,
solve the World Cup problems. That's just, you know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
overall, no, prison is much more. I use the term civil. You might not think it is, but there's rules to follow. People follow them. You don't like the rules. There's ways to change them, and that's the way it is. Nobody cries. Nobody pisses and moans. If you do, stay on your bunk. Your entire bid, go take a shit, go take a shower, go to the chow hall, go back to your bunk. That's it. That's where you'll be, Donald. You
And
know?
and some people do their bids like that,
Yeah.
and that's okay if that's the way they wanna do them. It just like I said, it's shocking that we can't do that out here where, we can't have some civility. It's I'm watching something, yesterday, and it's them, they're talking about the guy who killed Charlie Kirk, and of course, the right saying them, they, meaning the Democrats, they incited all this, and no, it was a he, it was a him, that did this. This kid was just a nut kid, that did
Yeah.
this. And he had a trans girlfriend. He didn't like him picking on her. Charlie Kirk picked on the trans people. That's a fact of life. He's anti-gay, anti-trans, Old Testament kind of shit, and he didn't like it. So, and it wasn't a they, it wasn't a us and them. There's all kinds of kids now that are like that from both sides, and it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with politics. They're just fucked up.
No, everyone's worried about whose team you're on and keeping a scorecard. I mean, they're actually keeping a scorecard on which
Yeah.
side has done more of these things. And that's your news media. I mean, supposed news media. I mean, that stuff's all a joke. I've kind of weaned myself off the news as much, other than what creeps into the cracks at work and around here and that kind of stuff. But it also comes down to respect. And if you think about this, the way both sides treat each other, if you think in the prison system, the wardens, the good wardens, I go back to Warden Oliver, Warden Bragg, and the tuna guys like that would come in to talk to you. They'd gather you up. I said, men, I want to talk to you about some things. And they would talk. And you gave them respect because of the warden, and he gave respect because you were men. And that's how he talked to you. You know, and he takes some input in a limited fashion, but his rule was final, and you respected that. Doesn't mean there weren't some things going on underneath. You would do, your little black market things, and he knew that too. Like the gambling
Okay.
tickets and stuff like that to keep things at peace. You know how to work together. Ward, let the gambling tickets go. It's not legal. Let it go. Some contraband coming in, some cigarettes. Let it go. Let it go. Don't. You're stabbing somebody like that. Shit's coming down, boys. It's coming down. And we all knew that. But we respected his side. He has respect for yours too. But we knew who the rule was. And here, no one knows who's really in charge. Everybody's kind of make believe at this point. It's kind of a big long cartoon and everything's going to a shambles, but we're going to keep our opinion and follow our guy no matter what to the very end. And so that's the issue we're dealing with. And I can't see a good end to
Yeah,
it.
the very end, sadly.
Yeah. And that's going to be the issue right now until we see. I don't see any changes right now for a few years at least. Do you?
No, no, we're hit.
Yeah.
We're just hit. That's it. When you're hit,
We are
you're
just,
hit.
yeah. Anyway, so you're at home today, and then next week you'll be gone for a while because you'll get your arm cut off. So,
Yeah, maybe I'll do a video of it. I'm not looking forward to it, not being one arm for a while, and I heard it's gonna be for a minute, man. I'm not looking forward to this shit.
yeah, nothing like a little surgery. So,
Yeah.
anyway, you got any hot one-liners to close it out with, or
Nah, no, I'm just, sitting here getting ready to go deliver some beer while I can still lift a keg. This will be my last day of being able to lift a keg for a couple months, so, I'm gonna go make my last deliveries before I have to get help.
well, at least you have a good time. It's Saturday. There'll be some football later. Anyway, that's all we got this week, folks. Remember, practice your freedom of speech, but then look around the corner. Make sure everybody knows he's peering around there at you with the red hat on or something. So it's Jack and GT from Fed Joints to Beer Joints. See you soon.
I'll give